Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Herb Kittleman, and on behalf of the SPE, I'd like to introduce you to my interview partner from today, Mr. Leonardo Soto from GRUPO Phoenix. Good morning, Leo.
Good morning, Herb. How are you today?
Very good, thank you. How are you?
Good, thank you.
Leo, can you give a short introduction about yourself? Because if I would have to do it, it would be very long.
Absolutely. So my name is Leonardo Soto. I work for GRUPO Phoenix in US, in Virginia. I have been working for GRUPO Phoenix for more than 20 years, 11 of those here in Virginia since we started. I have been leading the R&D team, projects for thermoforming products, and lately more projects for automation.
Okay, that fits very well, and that's why we picked you for this interview. As you may know, the headline for the conference is "Smart Manufacturing," or as I would say, manufacture smarter than average or better than the rest. So, can you give us a little view on what it means for you, maybe personally, to be manufacturing smarter than the rest? And then how far could you implement this into Phoenix? Obviously, Phoenix did something better than others because the growth of the company was quite impressive over the last years.
Absolutely. So I do believe that working smarter or manufacturing smarter means base decisions on data. So all the data that we can collect to have a high quality product and keep improving our processes is what makes that different to be smarter than average.
So obviously, we all struggled with the impact over the last 2 years of COVID and Corona. One of our focuses for that session in the conference is to learn and hear the experience from customers like you. How did you manage to implement the products you bought or the equipment you bought, or did you not buy anything over the last 2 years? And if you bought something, how could you come to a buying decision without having the normal sales rep visiting you, or the opportunity from you to go to the different companies? And once you decided to buy something, how did you manage to do the FATs and the SATs? So maybe one side would be the view on the supplier, how did you choose it? But then I think that you also have the same issues with your customer, like I have with you. How do I explain, Leo, that the Marbach tool is the best thing in the world? How can you explain, your customers that your package is better? And once you have the business, how can you do the FATs with these customers? How did you manage to do that over the last 2 years?
So there have been very difficult in manufacturing because the corona impact. So travel has been restricted. Only essential travel has been allowed. So a lot of virtual iteration with our suppliers and our customers. We have been managed, for example, the first acceptance trials or the factory acceptance trials and the site acceptance trials virtual with help from suppliers like Marbach, with some kind of smart glasses that now in the market. We have been working in a lot of documentation to document the FITs and those things. So we work closer with our suppliers and our customers to do qualifications in virtual ways. So that has been very challenging and that changed the work, mostly manufacturing. We keep our manufacturing 100% of the time open with some safety measurements for health in the plant. But for the qualifications, the virtual work has been helping us to overcome those challenges.
Mm-hmm. I remember the documentation, we get when it comes to a tool acceptance. It's a pretty big book. Has it been, that professional before COVID, or did COVID actually push it and forced your team to, everybody says, okay, we have to do one-time respect to make sure that the same mistake doesn't happen again. Did you have that already, or is it something which got pushed by COVID?
I would say that we were lucky that we started to develop all those measurements before COVID impact, but absolutely COVID give an additional push to start virtual sessions, to have everything well documented so we can rely in our suppliers that basically are in Europe, and travel has been restricted. So all the documentation help, but even go further and more developed, and more data were collected to make decisions about an acceptance or not acceptance, or what needs to be done after an FIT to get the level of productivity and quality that we were searching for.
With your customers, you interact on the more traditional ways, or maybe with teams, obviously, or with systems like we do now, but not with the virtual classes.
No, not with the virtual classes. We have been using virtual classes for and also for preventing and corrective maintenance, and that way we have also learnings. In addition, some training has been done with those magic glasses that MAPA provide to us.
Yeah, almost as important as safety glasses.
Yeah.
Okay, then last point, data. Also here you were one of our first customers to use the tool monitoring system, which we launched. We call it Connect M, and it spits out a lot of data, sometimes too much data for the customers that they are scared of it. When we showed it to you, that was 3 years ago. Can you explain a little bit why the system was chosen at the end, and how did, or if Grupo Phoenix did benefit from that system, and what is your recommendation to the industry? Is it worth using it? What are the hurdles? What are the chances?
So yeah, basically we have been researching before, and we found with the partnership with Marbac that these systems can help us in the objective of having data-driven decisions, as mentioned before. And this is based on, instead of waiting to have the outputs of the data, like the quality of the product that we make, we can collect data before problems happen. So we can prevent, and we can keep our quality of our products high, and also we can create a continuous improvement in our processes. So that helped in the decision to invest in this kind of systems. The benefits are basically that we start to predict it before things really happen. So when we see data that has some kind of trends and those things, we collect that data, and we analyze and then make the decisions based on that.
Okay, thank you. Okay, then the last questions would be, where do you see a smarter than average manufacturing company today in 5 years? What do you think? What will be normal? What should we aim for? What should we work on? And what should we better not do? Can you give us some recommendation without getting fired from your boss?
Absolutely. So what we are envisioning for the future is, I mentioned, predict data. So we aim to get at some point of big data, like the data that has been used in the marketing world, so that we can predict trends on the machinery. We can predict before a crash happen, so we can do more preventive maintenance that or predictive maintenance before we go to preventive, and even corrective maintenance. So we want to see those numbers. We still in that process, but basically what all this, the machinery behind the tools and all the information technology that is behind those kind of things help us to get in the more predictive state.
Thank you for that time you gave us and for your advices.
Thank you, Herb. I really appreciate the partnership and all the effort put behind all those things.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Okay, thank you. Bye.